Huh? Weren't you supposed to be in the hospital? No, I just threw my back out. What? I immediately called my husband. Where are you right now? He replied,
In my mom's hospital room. I'm in the middle of getting an explanation, so please, don't call me.
And he hung up right away. At that moment, I knew he was lying. Shall we leave this house then? My mother-in-law asked, and I strongly nodded in agreement. My name is Kim, a 29-year-old full-time housewife. My husband Nathan and I have been married for a year. As newlyweds, we have been enjoying every day living happily. The weather is really nice today.
You're right. Shall we go for a drive?
Great idea! Let's go. We are quite spontaneous, often going out on the spur of the moment. On this particular day, we drove far to a tourist spot and even ended up booking a hotel on the spot and staying overnight. Nathan and I met through work. I was a magazine editor and he was a salaryman working for a large company. I met him when I was covering his company. I don't want to sound conceited or anything, but apparently he fell in love at first sight when we first met. After working together for several weeks, he asked for my phone number when we said our final goodbyes. From there, we started going out on dates, gradually closing the distance between us. Then he confessed his feelings, and our relationship began. After about a year of dating, he proposed and we decided to get married. I was attracted to his very gentlemanly and devoted personality. He always treated me with great care. I think he was nicer than anyone I've ever dated. So I was happy when we decided to get married. I was convinced that we would definitely have a happy married life. After that, we met each other's parents. My parents also seemed to quickly take a liking to him, and his parents were very fond of me. We're delighted to have such a lovely woman as you for a daughter-in-law.
Are you sure you're okay with Nathan? Hey, what's that supposed to mean, Dad?
He seemed to get along well with his parents and enjoyed their conversation. His parents' house was in the countryside, and he had moved to the city for university. So his parents seemed very happy when he came home. Our family's meeting went smoothly, and we got married. At the wedding, we were very happy to receive blessings from many people. Then began our married life. Even after a year, I still felt happy and thought marrying him was the right choice. He has said he wanted me to become a housewife after we got married, so I retired upon our marriage and became a full-time housewife. He works for a large company, so we can live comfortably even if I'm a housewife. Having worked very hard before, I personally found the time spent as a housewife to be like the rest. I always liked housework and had thought I would want to make elaborate dishes if I had the time. Now I feel very happy cooking delicious food and serving it to Nathan.
This hamburger is super tasty. The cheese inside is the best. The demi-glace sauce is so delicious. How do you make it?
He happily says these things while stuffing his mouth. I feel very happy just seeing him eat and enjoy the food. I thought I would continue to do what I can in housework and support my husband by cooking delicious food. But recently, he has become quite busy at work.
Sorry, I don't need dinner today.
Oh, okay. I feel a little lonely reading the message from my husband at work. He seems to be overwhelmed by work now, working late every day. So he seems to be making do with eating something like Chinese food or pizza at the office.
Everyone in the team is working hard together, so I can't be the only one to leave.
That makes sense. He was always working hard like that, due to the responsibility he had as a section manager. So even when I felt lonely, I couldn't complain to him. Plus, I also thought that my husband, who worked so hard at his job, was attractive. So during the weekends, I was cooking elaborate, nutritious, and delicious meals for him. Because of his overtime fatigue during the weekdays, he spent most of his weekends at home, relaxing. He no longer stayed as active as he used to, but I was happy that we could spend time together. However, after continuing this lifestyle for about 2-3 months, his attitude started to change.
I'm home.
Welcome back. You're late. I thought you'd be back as usual since I didn't get any message.
Huh? Oh, sorry. I thought I had messaged you.
Back then, whether his busy period was over or not, my husband was basically coming home around 8 p.m. without doing any overtime. But recently, he has been coming home around midnight more often. Are you doing more overtime again?
Yeah, it's a bit busy again.
I felt a slight discomfort in his response at that time. It was as if he was hiding something. Even so, wanting to believe him, I didn't question him further. After all, he might really be busy with work, and I didn't want him to think that I was a nagging wife. However, my husband came home late again without any notice. Hey, you didn't send me any messages tonight again. The dinner I made is going to be a waste if you don't let me know.
Oh, sorry. Then I'll eat it for lunch at the office tomorrow.
No, I made curry tonight.
Oh, I see. I'm sorry.
With that, he went to take a bath. I felt something was off then as well. He took his smartphone with him to the bathroom. It's something he never did before. He often used to leave it on the living room table. Moreover, while he claimed he was doing overtime, he didn't seem to be particularly tired. Rather, he seemed to be in a good mood. What on earth was going on? And spent my days feeling uneasy, wondering about this. Even on holidays, he was saying that he had work and leaving the house. Was he really working? I was filled with feelings of loneliness and suspicion towards my husband, and every day was depressing. Being alone at home, my thoughts would increasingly veer towards the negative. So, I decided to work part-time. When I talked to him about it, he said it was completely fine. It would have been nice if he had agreed to me working part-time from the time we got married, but since he said it was okay for me to work, I decided to be happy with it. So I started working outside the house for the first time in a long time. I took up a part-time office job in a small to medium-sized company. Interacting with people other than my husband after a long time was good for my mental health, and even though I was feeling a little uneasy about him, I didn't have to worry too much. For a while after that, I was able to spend my days without any particular problems. My husband was still often late returning home and seemed busy with work on weekends, but thanks to my part-time job, I wasn't so dependent on him anymore. Having my own job really is a good thing. Then one day, something happened that made me worry. It was when I was at home. Suddenly, I received a call from Nathan. I answered the phone thinking how weird for him to call me like this. Hello, what's up?
Hey, Kim. It seems that my mom was taken to the hospital in an ambulance.
What? Is she alright?
Well, she's conscious, so she seems okay for now. I'm worried, so I'm going to go see her and stay in the hospital tonight.
Alright, I'll be there right away too.
No, it's okay.
Huh? Why?
You have your part-time job tomorrow, right?
But this is a serious situation for your mother, so I'll call in for a day off.
No, you don't have to do that. It would be a bother to your workplace. I'll go first, and once things settle down, you can visit her. Besides, she might not need to stay in the hospital for long.
Okay. Although I wasn't convinced, I decided to listen to him for the time being. But the next day, something unexpected happened. After I finished my part-time job and returned home, the intercom rang. To my surprise, it was my mother-in-law standing there. I opened the door surprised. Weren't you supposed to be in the hospital? Hospital? Yes, because Nathan told me that you were taken to the hospital in an ambulance and need to be hospitalized. No, I just threw my back out. What? Your back? Yes, embarrassingly, it happened all of a sudden. But that was about a month ago. Oh, is that so? But Nathan said, Huh? What do you mean? She looked confused. I was on a trip with a friend yesterday, and I thought I'd come to give you a souvenir. I was planning to go back home tonight. It seemed that she had just happened to visit our house. Kim, did Nathan call you saying that I was taken to the hospital in an ambulance yesterday and needed to be hospitalized? Yes. He insisted he would go straight to your hospital from work and told me to prioritize my part-time job and visit you later. This seems strange. Let's give him a call. Okay. I immediately called my husband, putting the call on speaker so she could also hear. Where are you now? I asked my husband. He responded,
I'm in Mom's hospital room. They're explaining her condition, so please don't call me.
And abruptly hung up. I knew then that he was lying. My mother-in-law looked surprised. What kind of explanation? She murmured, then called my husband.
Hello, Mom. What's up?
He answered the phone as if nothing was out of the ordinary. Where are you?
Where? I'm at the office.
Are you really at the office?
Yeah. What's going on? Why are you asking me that?
He seemed confused by her questioning. There's a lot of noise and voices in the background.
Oh, that. Yes, well, there's a parade passing by outside the office. It's quite noisy.
I see. I'm actually currently in New York. I was thinking I could drop by your office for a visit.
What? That's a bit inconvenient.
Why? I need to meet and thank your superiors and colleagues.
It's unusual for a parent to suddenly show up at work.
Well then, can I see you after work? I came all the way to New York, so I'd like to see your face before I go home.
Oh, well, I'm a bit busy today. I'll probably have to work overtime until around 11 p.m.
I prompted my mother-in-law with a note on my phone suggesting she say, I'll stay at your house and wait with Kim. She nodded and told him, Well then, I'll stay at your place and wait with Kim. You're off work tomorrow, right? It's the weekend. His confusion escalated even further.
What? That's a bit...
Why not?
Ugh.
He stumbled over his words, clearly distressed. Then he began to make surprising remarks.
Actually, Kim is not comfortable with you, Mom.
What? I gasped in my heart at his words. My mother-in-law and I exchanged surprised looks. I shook my head, insisting that it wasn't true, and she seemed to understand. We both realized that Nathan was hiding something and was up to no good. Understood. Sorry for being selfish. I'll quietly go back home.
I'm sorry, Mom. I'll make it up to you next time.
No need for that, she said before hanging up the call. Both she and I were in a state of shock for a while. Then, with a determined look, she said, I'm sorry for my stupid son, Kim. You can leave him. Continuing this marriage will only bring you misery. It was clear my husband was having an affair. It's Friday today. He is probably going on a weekend affair trip. Yes, I'll leave him. Shall we leave this house, then? She asked, and I nodded strongly. I'm grateful that she was on my side. My husband had betrayed me, lied to his mother, and even fabricated the horrible lie that she was hospitalized. Worse, he claimed that I didn't like my mother-in-law. She quickly informed her husband about the situation. He was outraged when he heard the story and drove over the next day.
I'm really sorry for my stupid son.
No, it's not your fault. With the help of my in-laws, I moved my belongings back to my parents' house. We're very sorry for our stupid son. No, thank you for helping her move. Thanks to my in-laws, I was able to move all my belongings back to my parents' house. From now on, I guess it's all about gathering evidence. Yes, that's right. I have a little plan. As we took a break in the living room, my mother-in-law suggested a strategy. We all agreed to go ahead with this plan. About 3 days after I moved back to my parents' house, Nathan contacted me.
Oh, are you not home?
I replied to my oblivious husband. Actually, my dad has just thrown his back out. I need to help out with chores around the house, so it seems I'll be spending some time at my parents' house. Is that okay? When I sent this message, his response was,
All right. Tell your dad to take care.
The ease with which he agreed hinted that he was indeed having an affair and likely planning to meet his mistress while I was away. I immediately requested an investigator to gather evidence, and because of his carelessness, it took only about a week to collect everything. With the evidence at hand, I returned home. My in-laws agreed to be present, and we waited for Nathan to return from work in the house we had shared. He was surprised to find both me and his parents there.
What's going on? Kim, Mom, Dad, why are you all here together?
He stuttered, clearly unsettled. We have something to discuss. Sit, I told him in a cold tone. Nervously, he sat across from me. You know what this is about, don't you?
What are you talking about?
He tried to play innocent, but I sighed. You lied about your mom being hospitalized. I know about the affair.
Oh.
He froze at my blunt words. These are the photos proving your affair, I revealed, spreading the investigator's photos across the table. His face turned pale at the sight. You're despicable, lying about your parents' misfortune, deceiving and betraying me? And to make up such a nasty lie that I dislike your mother?
But how did you...
When your mom called you, I was listening right next to her.
What?
And just as I thought you were having an affair. I'm disgusted. I can't continue this marriage with you. We're done. Panicked, he blurted out.
Wait, let's reconsider this divorce.
But his parents would not stand for it.
Enough is enough. Accept the consequences for your actions.
It's unbelievable that you would exploit me and hurt Kim. Regardless of what you have to say, accept Kim's request for divorce. And pay the consolation money as a sign of your remorse. As his parents roared, my husband cowered, completely intimidated. And with that, he agreed to divorce as instructed. I truly appreciate the support of my in-laws throughout this ordeal. Afterwards, I was able to divorce and demand consolation money from my ex-husband and his mistress. It turned out that my ex had been having an affair with a daughter of his company's executive director. Furthermore, his mistress was engaged, and her fiancé also demanded consolation money from my ex. It seems that her fiancé was the son of a president of a crucial business partner of the company, and this affair scandal almost led to the dissolution of their business relationship. As a result, my ex was fired from his job as a form of taking responsibility. However, my in-laws had severed all ties with him due to their disgust, leaving him unemployed and burdened with a debt in the form of consolation money. He's now working as a part-timer, with most of his income going towards debt repayment, leading a life of poverty. He entirely brought this upon himself, and honestly, it serves him right. On the other hand, I was offered full-time employment at the company where I had been working part-time. The people I work with are all wonderful, and I'm delighted to have become a full-time employee in such an enjoyable workplace. Just like old times, I plan to devote myself to my work, contribute to the company, and move forward in my new life.